Quick ask. Subscribe now, then let's jump in with the numbers. You don't need a headline to know something has shifted in Nevada. You feel it on a Saturday evening, driving past the same desert sunsets, the same casino glow on the horizon, the same master-planned communities with palm trees lined up like marketing props. The billboards still promise from the 400s, but the parking lots at open houses are half as full. The chatter inside is softer. Agents straighten the same brochures twice, 3 times, waiting for a buyer who doesn't show. Scroll your feed and it's there too. Listings you saw a month ago are still sitting, now wearing price improvement banners like quiet confessions. In neighborhoods around Las Vegas, Henderson, Mesquite, you start recognizing the same stucco, the same pool, the same house coming back with a slightly lower ask in a more urgent caption. This isn't doom on a cable graphic, it's something more uncomfortable. It's the feeling that the market you were told could never flinch is finally blinking. You're not imagining it. In 10 desert cities across Nevada, the behavior of buyers, sellers, and builders is telling the real story. A housing meltdown hiding in plain sight, measured one price cut at a time, slowly. Roll the clock back a few years. Nevada wasn't a warning sign, it was the answer key. Californians drove in, looked at Las Vegas, Henderson, Reno, and Sparks and thought, wait, I can get all this for that price? Remote workers ran the math on a laptop in the desert and felt rich overnight. Retirees sold bungalows, pocketed equity, and bought cash flow dreams in HOA-wrapped subdivisions. Investors and short-term rental buyers told themselves the same story. It's stable, it's undervalued, it only goes up. Cheap money made the punch bowl bottomless. At 3%, even a stretch price felt light. You could push for the bigger house, the extra bedroom, the view lot, and the monthly still whispered, you've got this. But interest rates didn't stay cute. They climbed. Insurance renewals crept higher. HOA boards quietly raised dues. Property taxes adjusted to yesterday's boom. Suddenly, the exact same house at 7% felt like a weight on your chest. That shift, not the desert sun, not the skyline, is what turned Nevada from magnet to slow-motion meltdown. And it's exactly what's now surfacing as wave after wave of price cuts across its desert cities. You can't ignore that. When I say a desert city is drowning in price cuts, I'm not talking about drama, I'm talking about a pattern. You see days on market quietly stretch compared to last year. Homes that used to go pending in a weekend now sit through 2, 3, 4 open houses. You scroll the listings and notice how many carry a bright, price-reduced banner, then notice something else. The same address shows up with a second or third cut. At the same time, active inventory doesn't clear the way it used to. New listings come on, old ones remain, and pendings don't keep pace. Absorption softens. Sellers start offering closing costs, rate buydowns, even prepaid HOAs just to keep buyers from walking. Underneath all of that is the real issue, the payment. Not just the sticker price, but mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA dues, utilities, and repairs stacked against what local incomes can safely carry. A meltdown isn't boarded windows. It's a structural mismatch between asking prices and real paychecks. In this video, every one of the 10 Nevada cities we'll cover is judged against that same framework, with repeatable signals you can use to benchmark your own market calmly and clearly. We'll start the countdown where the cracks are obvious if you know how to look. At number 10, Carson City still feels steady on the surface. State offices humming, retirees walking familiar streets. But 1990s and 2000s, resales are sitting longer. And that first price improvement shows up faster than it used to. Payments on those once manageable homes now bite harder into fixed and mid-level incomes. Number 9, Mesquite, was the quiet desert reward. Golf, sunshine, and a slower pace. Retirees and second homeowners came for predictability. In 2025, fixed incomes are colliding with higher insurance, HOA dues, and utilities. So nice but not perfect listings linger, and sellers quietly sweeten terms. At 8, Pahrump's cheap desert escape narrative is aging. Investors who once snapped up properties for rentals or future flips are more cautious, and you see price-cut clusters on mid-tier homes that assumed endless demand. Number 7, North Las Vegas, was the affordable alternative to the Strip and suburbs, a starter home gateway. Now, rising taxes, utilities, and everyday costs are stretching locals whose wages never match the boom. Entry-level belts show longer days on market and more incentives. Deeper fractures appear as we climb this list. Stay with me as the pattern sharpens ahead. Now the stress moves up the ladder. At number 6, Sparks was supposed to be Reno's sensible spillover. New subdivisions, fresh parks, clean commutes. Builders pushed phase after phase on the assumption that Californians and remote workers would keep pouring in. In 2025, those same streets show banner ads for closing cost help, rate buy-downs, and last few homes that somehow never quite run out. Number 5, Henderson lived for years on its reputation as the polished, safe bet suburb. The lifestyle still photographs well, but the ledger is louder. HOA dues, taxes, insurance, and utilities stack on top of already elevated prices, especially in condo, townhome, and mid-tier single-family pockets. Listings linger just above what solid local incomes can comfortably carry. At 4, parts of Reno itself tell the same story. Buyers who once grabbed anything near tech and logistics growth now underwrite every deal. High 2021 purchases try to exit into a thinner pool, and multiple price cuts become the only language that moves showings. Number 3, Summerlin and similar prestige suburbs around Las Vegas might be the biggest shock. The brand screams bulletproof. The payment says otherwise. These are the first real wake-up calls for viewers before we hit the top 2. At number 2, we land in Las Vegas, not the trophy penthouses, but the miles of mid-tier subdivisions that actually house the valley. These are the neighborhoods where blackjack dealers, bartenders, rideshare drivers, nurses, and line cooks go home after a shift. When tourism is humming, payments feel barely manageable. When overtime fades or shifts get cut, the same mortgage, taxes, insurance, and HOA suddenly feel heavier. Inventory has started to stack in these belts. Price cuts are rare, and investors who once collected doors because it's Vegas are quietly stepping back. The volatility that made fortunes now makes households nervous. Number 1 is Paradise in the condo corridors in the Strip's shadow, where the story was pure speculation. Short-term rentals, second homes, and investor-heavy towers all bought on the assumption that demand would always refill the pool. In 2025, carrying costs vote instead. Higher rates, steeper HOAs, insurance, utilities, and softer nightly bookings. Units sit longer than locals remember, and concessions become part of the sales script. This isn't apocalypse, but it is a symbolic breaking point. If even the Strip can wobble, no desert market gets to claim immunity, and that's your cue to get serious about the math. If you're buying in one of these Nevada desert cities, your edge is not being first through the door, it's being the calmest person in the room. That starts with changing what you look at. Instead of chasing fresh listings, build a watch list of homes that have been sitting 21, 30, 45 days or more. Those prices aren't verdicts, they're questions. Is anyone really willing to pay this monthly? Treat every list price as an opening move, not a command. Keep your inspection and financing contingencies. In a meltdown market, walking away from a bad deal is a win, not a failure. When you do write an offer, bake in what most people are afraid to ask for. A permanent rate buy-down, closing credits, and money for repairs that your inspection uncovered. Then zoom out to the only scoreboard that matters, your 5-year monthly. Add mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA dues, utilities, and the obvious upcoming repairs, and compare that number to a realistic rent. If owning only works after financial gymnastics, it doesn't work yet. Adults don't buy to impress. They buy to sleep at night, and in these markets, that's your real leverage. Slow, boring decisions age the best. If you're selling in one of these 10 Nevada desert cities, the market is not your enemy, but it will punish denial. Start by cutting the emotional cord to 2021. Price to what's actually going under contract right now, not to what your neighbor bragged about at a barbecue. A clean pre-inspection turns hidden landmines into known line items. Fix the true deal killers, then show your work with receipts, utility histories, and clarity. Lead with a real incentive package on day one, a permanent rate buy-down and honest closing cost help, instead of shaving $5,000 every few weeks while buyers watch you bleed. If you're an investor, you cannot afford fairy tales in this phase. Appreciation and refinance miracles are not a business model. They are a bonus if they show up. Run your numbers like a pessimist. Conservative rents, rising taxes, sticky insurance, HOA dues that only move one direction. Ask one question. Does this property pay me to hold it even if prices nap for 5 years? If the answer is no, it's not a safe asset, it's a speculation. In Nevada 2025, discipline isn't negative, it's the only flex that survives. Smart money protects cash flow before chasing upside. Nevada isn't over. It's being repriced after an easy money decade where almost any payment felt justifiable if the story was good enough. The sunsets, the strip, the desert trails, the logistics hubs and service jobs, none of that vanished in 2025. What changed was the cost of money and our tolerance for signing up to monthlies that only worked on hope. These 10 desert cities drowning in price cuts are not a horror movie. They're an early warning map showing where the math broke first. If you live, rent, own, or invest anywhere in Nevada, I want your ground truth. Drop your city, zip code, days on market, and the price cut patterns you're seeing on your own street. Your comments become the on-the-ground intel that no spreadsheet can replace. And if you want more grown-up, data-first breakdowns of the U.S. housing market, no doom, no cheerleading, just risk and opportunity, hit subscribe, tap like, and share this with someone who still thinks it always goes up. In the next video, we'll flip the lens and build a Nevada comeback map, where buyers are most likely to return first when the dust settles and the numbers finally make sense again. Stay sharp, stay calm, stay informed.